Greetings, salutations, and hello. We're back with the best deck in Modern, Blue Belcher. If you don't believe me, Aspiring Spike said it. What he says is gospel. But, talk about a few changes here from the core list. One is this not fun of, but kind of spicy wing con Tezzeret the Seeker. He is actually the reason we won the first game in this league. First match, rather. I was trying to record it, but got interrupted, unfortunately. So, we beat Dimir solely because we had this. If this was any other card, we wouldn't have won. They had a frog out. They were beating us down. They had double consigned to memory in their hand, which could have dealt with Belcher. We didn't have enough mana for Whir, but we were able to hit a land, cast Tezzeret the Seeker, go get a Belcher, and then he couldn't get lethal on us before the next turn where we could activate it. Like that it's blue, like that it beats consigned to memory, and is pretty mana efficient. Doesn't rely on Bloom. The Whirlwind is pretty hard to get without Bloom. Not hard to get, but you really have to keep Oculus and Frog off the table in order to get the Whirlwind. Usually you are getting a Bloom Whirlwind, more likely. The other one is the Hope of Girapur. Again, we took out our Pact of Negations, which makes us a little worse against counterspells game 1, but if we can Whir for Hope of Girapur or cast it if it's in our hand, it allows us to essentially do an uncounterable combo in our second main phase. Other than that, everything's pretty standard. I like the 2 Commandeers main. I like the 1 Force as well. Again, we got rid of packs, so we kind of went up on our free interaction. We're down 1 Tamishi to make room for that Hope. And I like the 3-1 split with Jawari and Waterlog, just because Waterlog is a win con enough. And it actually, again, Waterlog won us game 1, and Tezzeret won us game 3 against Dimir. So that was a fun one. In the sideboard, we got the 1 of Karn to beat Surgical and Stonebrain effects. It also is great in the mirror, and Belcher is a pretty popular deck right now. Kozilek comes in against decks that can make multiple needle effects, Urza Saga decks, essentially, as well as Mill, of course. Gives us a little bit of a chance against Mill. The rest of the sideboard is pretty standard to the one in the primer and the sideboard guide, as far as the 2 Consign, 2 Snare, 2 Dispute, 1 Force, 1 Commandeer, 2 Harbinger, 3 Scream, so we'll kind of be following the sideboard guide, so to speak, in this one. We'll go into our second match. Like I said, we won that first one in some close games against a Dimir Frog Oculus deck. It feels weird calling it Dimir Control. It's not really a control deck anymore. It's like a tempo deck because it's trying to, sometimes it makes a turn 2 Oculus. Otherwise, it's trying to turn 2 Frog and then beat you with, the added resources of those cards. Let's make sure we don't need that on the screen. And that's on the right screen. Okay. Join the Discord if you haven't already. It's a fun one. I have a lot of videos up for Blue Belcher, including a sideboard guide video that kind of explains why the sideboard guide is the way that it is. Trying to go in depth in a lot of the top matchups. The primer is pretty exhaustive. If you have questions, though, you can ask in a comment. You can ping me on the Discord, or just add me a Discord. I don't mind. I like answering questions. Although I will say, if you ask questions and you haven't even opened the primer, I'll probably be like, well, I wrote about this in the primer. I wrote about everything from there is a matchup guide I started as well about what is your strategy against various decks like Ruby Storm, Boros, Domain, Dimir, Belcher, Grinding Station. What cards you need to keep. What's it called? What are the primary cards you really want to be looking for as far as keepable hands and stuff like that, because a sideboard guide doesn't give you all that information. We are WinCon heavy here. Double Work, Belcher, and Tamishi, but with 3 lands, we only have the 1 untapped, but we can go turn 3 Bloom on their end step, turn 4 Tamishi, start looping Bloom for the win, so it looks like we're likely against Boros, so I like having a turn 4 win against them. We are on the draw, which is a little worse, but they are mulliganing, so that's good for us. If it's sometimes Ruby Storm plays the what's it called? Gigantha. This feels more like a Ruby Storm list, unfortunately. We don't have a shoal. Well, maybe I should. Sorry, I should have let on suppression ray. That was a misplay just now. Just noting that. You'd rather have the white source out. Yep. It is a Ral. We could just be dead this turn. We did hit a shoal, which means I cannot cast the trainer. I also want to hold up my untapped land for next turn anyway. But surviving 2 turns when they have 4 cards in hand is unlikely, although an attack from them bodes well. Maybe they just have... What are they? Are they land heavy? Are they ritual heavy with no card draw? Or card draw heavy? If they're card draw heavy, we'll see a Ren's Resolve here or something. Nope, they're going... do we hit the Manamorphose? It does draw a card and ramp them, but they could still have ritual and card draw here. I think with only 3 in hand, we're going to go ahead and just hit their first spell. It's hard. There is some debate for waiting to just hit a Ren's Resolve. But again, we don't know what they're short on. It seems likely that they're short on drawing cards, which makes that the right play. Yeah, I think we just pass the turn, and it kind of maybe looks like we're holding up permission, but we're not. We just have a turn 4 combo. We hope they brick. Well, that bodes well. They already didn't want to land, so we hope they just kind of draw a land here. And when we were for Lotus, we can win either by... Oh, that's not good. We might just be dead. But if we have another turn, we can win by top decking an untapped land, or we can cast it to Mishi if we need to. No, they gotta pass some flames. 0 cards in hand, they only have Manamorphose, so this Manamorphose has to hit something juicy. No, wait, do they have enough cards just to flip him? I wish it told me Storm. When does it start telling Storm? At 4? 5. So Ritual will be 6. So yeah, they still have to hit a decent card off of here. It has to be another instant or sorcery in order to get Rao to flip big enough. Right? Oh, of course. The perfect card. Exile 3 cards. Well, they had 1 draw. If it had hit any land or ritual, we would have been fine. But they did not, of course. They hit Glimpse the Impossible. Bother. So this ritual, and then I get to flip it. Oh, does he flip with... Is it 2 plus that? I thought it was just... Oh, never mind. They actually... So they had exactly 8 without drawing a good card. But, again, the fact that they drew a good card is obnoxious. What did they exile? Ren's Resolve. Past in Flames. Another Glimpse. Hit Wish. This Ritual and Manamorphose can't be cast. He has 1. Plus his Wish only costs 1 red mana, and his Passive Flames only cost... Oh, Passive Flames is free. Morale is such a ridiculous card in this deck. At this point, I'm just curious to see if they play the Orange Chant in the sideboard. I assume we'll see. Well, I don't know. It's not fun watching someone play with themselves at this point. Well, Ruby Storm, we want our spell snares in because their 2 drops are what win the game. We want the Force of Negation in. We want the Commandeer in. Yep, that's about it. I don't think we need Hope of Garapor in this matchup. We sideboard out some Flare, because although it's good on turn 2, we want to have our other interaction. We have a lot better interaction. Do we want to go with the last Flare or a Tamishi? Probably a Tamishi. This game we really have to play as the control deck. Usually if you can just answer a couple of their 2-drops, you're kind of all set. Well, we have Shoal for 2. Well, no, we can Philology with Flare, and then double Flare and Shoal should be able to hold them off. Bloom into... Oh, wait. Shoot. Sometimes... The downside of playing a deck that has no lands is sometimes you forget that you need lands in your hand. We obviously cannot play this Philology out because I kept a 0-land hand. My bad. My bad, team. Well, we did get a land. That's great. So we really hope this Shoal for 2 will save us. Because we're not going to get to use these flares because I kept an land hand. Oh, Shoal, please be good enough. What can I do? Another world. I'm going to have a Bloom next turn. I'll have 4 mana, but all I can whir for is another Bloom, which doesn't do anything. I'm just going to have to hold Bloom with Flare Denial and hope that they don't have a Ral or Ruby this turn. Oh. Okay. There's a Ruby. Ruby for next turn and a land drops. So plenty of mana. What is this? No, no, not like this. So rude. Why does it make me click no? Just tell me I can't cast it. It's so rude to make me click no, as if I am deciding. Well, we're probably dead. I can't believe I was like, oh, look at all these things our hand can do, and I just did not consider the fact that I had 0 lands. You can chalk up this loss to my mistake, not to the deck being bad. That's my bad, totally. Hopefully our next game goes better. Assume we're dead here, but off chance we're not. Rail and Ruby, Strike It Rich isn't very good. Do they have a ritual? Rail, Leyline, Prodigy. It took a long time to decide whether or not to flip them. I assume that means they don't have a ritual. Okay. We're not quite dead yet. Untapped land would be great. How about a 3rd Lotus Bloom? The deck's like, I heard you need mana. I'm sending all the mana your way. You just gotta wait 4 turns for it. We gotta get Orm Chanted again. We gotta get Ral beat down here. They have so much mana. So much mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another Reckless Impulse. Assume they cast that. What does this one hit? They probably just need a ritual and or a Past in Flames. Another Rend Resolve. Oh, I think they can still play land for turn, right? One of those mesas. And this one hits. I have 3 fetch lands. play. They're gonna go get something here. I think they should have fetched earlier, but oh well. Morphos. They could pass in flames here. I wouldn't quite. They might be able to get enough to flip Brow if they pass in flames here. I think so. With Morphos and 2 Morphos in the Strike It Rich in the graveyard. Well, they managed not to hit one of their 8 rituals in the top 24 cards of their deck. Whew. Are you saying there's a chance? No, there's not a chance. They're gonna Orange Chant us again. So rude. Yes, I'll say no again, I guess. Land? You are just not what the doctor ordered. So they've chanted our blooms twice. They might be running out of fetchable sources. I don't know how many mountains. Oh no, they still haven't gotten their surveil land, have they? They're flashing back Strike It Rich. It's funny, they tapped 3, forgetting that the flashback cost was reduced by 2, but passing the turn, and they didn't even swing for 1. That's interesting. Spell Snare just in time. I guess we're passing back. If we somehow do come back and win this, it's all because of our opponent's lack of luck, not my skill. Just to be clear, my skill was a 0 in this game. Hey, they put a ritual in the graveyard. That means Past in Flames is coming. The problem is, even with a flare, they only have to pay. Oh, they have a ritual in hand. What were they waiting for then? They have so much mana that countering Past in Flames does nothing because they can just recast it. It costs what? 2 on this side. If I counter it, they can just flash it back. You know, it would cost 5, so it only costs 3. 1, 2, 3. They'd still have 2, 3 open mana. I guess we try and I don't know. They're probably just gonna Orm Chant. I should have probably just countered Past in Flames. I guess. Doesn't really accomplish anything, but once they're just gonna flash it back, and then they can just Orm's Chant, and then they know that I can't cast it. No? Why didn't they? I think my opponent is forgetting that the cost reduction affects flashback, because they seem to forget that when they try to flashback the Strike It Rich. We should be dead. Because they can definitely, they could have afforded flash this back for the same cost as making that, putting the elk into their hand. Interesting. Okay. Can we pull it out? If I play this untapped, I can whir for a Belcher, but I can't activate it. I don't have any other artifacts to whir for that can do anything. I wish I had a Tormod's Crypt right now. What else could I do? If I hold up, I could have Sync plus Flare as my 2 counter spells. If I don't play it, I could try to Sync this and Flare. I guess I have to do that. I don't think I can afford to play this as a land and then only have Flare. Because if they have Orange Chant, I'm screwed. Yeah, I think I passed the turn. This is so weird. I should not be in this game. 1, 2, 3. Morphos. Okay. Opponent's down to a 12 from their own flips, which is funny. Why aren't they casting this? I'm so confused. Okay. So we're gonna. So the way flashback is worded, I forget. If I bounce it, does it go actually return to their hand? For some reason I thought it didn't, but now I'm doubting it and I'm just gonna flare it. They can still cast it again with 1 mana open, so I think we're still dead. Second Pass in Flames definitely solidified it there. A third pass? Oh no, sorry, that's the one I bounced there. That's what I was saying. They could just recast it. Or pretty well dead. Anyways, I apologize for keeping basically unwinnable hand there. It is funny that we kind of ended up having some play at least, but yeah, should have mulliganed that, obviously. Very strange matchup. That's not the button we wanted to push. On the die roll, that's nice. Fuoco Fatto. Another Gigantha deck. This time, let's make sure we have some lands. If this is Storm, this hand has interaction. If it's Ruby, well, no, I'm on the draw. I need another land. I could Thunder Trap. I think this hand's close enough. I also can just commandeer like a Pass in Flames that usually throws them off. So yeah, I'm gonna play this out. Play Thunder Trap, hope to find a flare. If it is Ruby, if it's not Ruby, then we'll see. Thunder Trap might just get a land then. If it's just a good old Boros energy. No fetch means more likely. I don't know. Sometimes Boros energy just opens on fetch a surveil land. Maybe we play this now because we can line up Borer into Tamishi. Or sorry, we already have a Bloom coming off, so we could just turn 3 Tamishi and then we're on turn 4 for the win. Make our 10 mana. That's not what we were expecting, eh? Color me intrigued, opponent. What is this? What's it called? It's not. Would it be Domain? Domain without Leyline of the Guild Pact? Or does Leyline not count for Gigantha? I feel like it would. I have not played against this deck. It's supposedly a top deck. This was my first time seeing it in probably 20 leagues. I mean, I can't commandeer that, so obviously we're just passing the turn here. It's fast clock. I'll give you that much. We drew the Belcher. I think I just protect my life total here, right? If I can Thunder Trap into any other land, I could just bolt myself next turn and win. I think we'll just go for that. We did not hit another land, so we'll take the flare. We'll play this out. We're going to have to go for the Tamishi next turn for the win. But Thunder Trap essentially either being a free counterspell for a Scion or chump blocking at 5/5 is fine. It's an exile card, discard draw, right? We do have to be you don't want, against this deck you don't want to pass the turn with Belcher out because of Leyline binding. I think we're fine taking a hit down to 15 to hold this up. They do play this, so apparently even though there's 4 green symbols, this doesn't count towards Gigantha. See, I'm learning something here. What else you got there? Holding up my flare. I'm ready to go for the win. what are we doing for 3 mana? Bolt this. Well, I don't want to sack this to cast this, because then I just end up losing the card. I could Commandeer the Bolt. Doesn't seem worth it. What's the second card you have is my question. Okay, nothing yet. I got something to interrupt my bloom here. Try to destroy it, maybe. I can use Whir and Flare to cast Commandeer if I need to. I can also hard cast Flare if I need to. And survive another turn. Again, I'm not super familiar with the deck. I could look at it. It's just, I've played against strategies similar to it, just not this specific Modern Horizon 3 build. Yeah, they're gonna leyline binding this, maybe. Yeah. I'd rather you didn't. Why is my internet loading? Thank you for the Kavu. Where are you, Domain Zoo? Okay, main phase. I don't think it matters which way we do this. You can sack this for 3 blue to cast Tamishi and then start the loop with the white land because we have it. But typically when you only have blue lands, you cast the Tamishi first, so that's just how I'm used to doing this. Oh, I play Orcish Bowmasters. I'd like to return that, do that, and bounce this land. No bolt in response, so I think we're good to go. I would like to make a blue mana. I would like to activate again. Return that one. 1, 2, 3. That we now have 7 mana. No need to prolong the effects. Oh. Oh my gosh. Main deck consigned to memory? Crap, the way I did this, I don't have any white mana left. So frustrating. Okay, now we have to survive a turn without another leyline binding. I guess I should have seen that. I'm trying to look. It's not something. Or Stubborn Denial is another card they play, so I probably should have played that better. You guys are just watching me make just mistakes after mistakes over here. Quality Magic being played. It's just not my night. I should have just been playing some more Neo Brand, but you guys like watching Blue Belcher for some reason. So here I am, stumbling through. I guess we don't want to pass the turn. I technically could show something. If this was a 5 cost, I would have kept the Orderly Plaza in order to counter a Leyline Binding, but I guess if they binding the Belcher, we can still return our Bloom to make enough mana to sink it plus activate Belcher, so I don't think that's really an out for them. I'm trying to think of what else they could have. In the sideboard, they play like Wear Tear, right? They play Tishana's Tidebinder. What does that do? Enters if an ability of artifact creature is counted this way. Oh, they're gonna Tribal Flames Tamishi. Okay. You saw me pick up the Sink into Super, right? Maybe they have. What's their other? I still have 2 cards. Maybe now they have Leyline Binding. They're gonna dash in. Okay. They're hoping to hit what? I don't know what they think we have that could answer our own Belcher, but for 1 mana. There's Waterlogged Teachings. Enjoy. Okay. Not sure why our opponent didn't just concede here. I guess there might be something they have that can... Okay, there's the concede. Main deck consign. Welcome to New Modern. Hope might be a stretch because if they have Scion out, it's never gonna do damage. Although it does fly over Kavu. I guess no. If they're playing Orcish Bowmasters like this list is, probably don't want to risk it. Our normal list sideboard plan against Domain Zoo, just to give you an idea, is right here. Bring in our Harbingers and our Screams, take out our Shoals, as well as a Commandeer. Which that makes sense. Our Shoals are pretty weak here. We do want Unable to Scream for sure. We want our Harbingers for sure. Harbingers. Do we want to just do that? I'm trying to think. Cutting a Commandeer is fine, but what else do I want in? Snare hits what? Bowmasters, Tribal Flames, and Kavu. Probably not enough. Out of the sideboard, we should expect Mystical Dispute, and more Consigned Memory, I guess. Wear Tears, possibly. Maybe we want the Force over the Commandeer. What can Consign hit besides there? I guess I could hit Tishana's Tidebinder. That's a fun one if they are playing that. Other than that, though, it only hits. Well, it hits Scion. Can hit a Flage trigger. Can hit a Consign trigger. Maybe we'll bring in our own Consign just to be cute. We'll see if they play like Surgical or something. Our third game we'll bring in Karn. Unsurprisingly, they choose to play first. We got 1, 2, 3 lands, 3 dudes, and a flare. I think this is pretty good. We don't have our win cons, but we can dig for them. We have some lands. We have interaction. We have chump blockers. This hand is not great against Scion, I guess. A turn 2 Scion, but we can dig for Unable to Scream. Now we don't really have to pay attention to CMCs of cards in our hand because we cut our Shoals. It's just blue cards matter. I have more permanent. Excuse me. Kept their card top. We unfortunately cannot interact this turn. Is it Kavu or Scion coming our way? Excuse me. Fetches seem good for us because their lands count as every type. Fetching seems, I guess they're trying to thin their deck, I guess. Have the Kavu. It's a late bloom. Or late bloomer over here. We are going to bolt ourselves. I think we'll just lead on the Phlogy. Because this is just getting chumped. I feel like we do want a 4th. Well, we have the. I guess we'll take the interaction. Without Tamishi, our Seagates are not great. And this means we technically have 2 counterspells this next turn for them. We can pitch our second Phlogy. We can slack this one for Flare, and then next turn we can still Thunder Trap with 2 land drops to go. With a bloom coming that sets us up for 7 mana. They are bolting. I don't think we're going to force that. I'm trying to think of what else they're playing this turn that force doesn't hit. I guess a Scion would be really good for them, but the bolt, instead of doing 3 to us, killed the thing so they can do 5. So they get 2 more damage out of it, but they're discarding a card to draw. Get rid of the binding. Seems good. Go with a trainer next. Oh, wow, the coddle. Maybe we try to set up for a 1/4 here. Just block the Wild Nikotl indefinitely. But we can only take 3 hits from this Kavu. Suppression. I think I'm going for this. Able to scream is nice. I think we take that. The question is, do we want to bold ourselves now? We're not getting our bloom next turn anyway. Pull myself now. I save myself. If they have removal, yeah, it's probably worth it on average. It is hard to say exactly. The one downside here is now we can't next turn use teachings for a whir, which would have been a line we could take, but I think it's important to get this Kavu down. I think we're gonna go ahead and force this one. I think we're gonna get rid of the suppression ray. Yeah, I don't think we need the 5th land, and if we're not using teachings to go get a win con. We'll let the Nikotl hit us this turn, I think, if we need to. I want to hold up the flare. I have consign. So yeah, we're gonna have to play this teachings out as a land. Hope to draw a Belcher. That's really what we want. I got a Tamishi. That's actually pretty good. We'll play this. We'll tap out for Tamishi this turn. Bloom comes next turn. We want to wait and do that in the same turn. The other option is I play Philology right now. I think we do that because it guarantees we have Flare. I don't think they'll have 2 removal, and I think I'm going to try to just mill everything here to have a blocker for Wild Nikotl. Although double Scream is great. Let's just Scream the Nikotl, I think. We have the extra mana this turn anyway. Having a Scream in the graveyard is actually kind of nice as well for Tamishi. I guess I don't want to pass the turn. I don't know what they could try to cost Leyline. I feel like Leyline Binding I might just let hit right now. Because it's probably just going to give them back their Kavu, which I can definitely chump. I still don't actually technically have my win con, and I didn't take a Seagate earlier. Which means our Tamishi can't do much. Oh, we have a teachings. I just have to get up to 14. Yeah, that's fine, I guess. Okay, I said no already. Why does it always make you do that twice? Let's do the math next turn. We'll have 4 lands. We can make a 5th land drop. Bloom. I have to use blue mana for Tamishi. I bring it back. Play a land. I'll have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 potential mana. That is not enough to teachings win, right? I'll double check it once we get there. Because I might want to go ahead and bolt myself, I'll block this. They only have 2 cards in hand, so that bodes well for us. Cast the Lowest Bloom. I'm going to try to counter this. No. Double Tamishi, interesting. Stopping our draw step. Playing surgical or something? doing it this way because I want to have 3 blue mana available with Sync in my hand now with these triggers on the stack. I wish this would stop popping out in my way because I assume they're doing something here. Bolting Tamishi. I think we just let that happen because we have to spend 3. I could flare, sack the trainer though. Let me do some math again. I have 3 blue. This is going to be back in play. I play a land of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, right? 15 is enough to win with Unundated. Let's try this mode. It looks like I have enough mana. When I tried to do it last turn in my head, it didn't. But right now it looks like it. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 if I play it untapped. I don't think I need to. I need 14 exactly. I hope my math is right. Let's go for it. Be careful I don't click the wrong thing here. If there's another whatever, I'd be mad there, but we do need a lot of blue mana at the end of this, but we have to make sure we keep white mana in the mix. Let's hope I did my math right. That opponent isn't just holding up another Consign or Stubborn Denial or something. Cancel. This is 11 plus 3, yeah. It'll be 14. Don't click too fast. One extra click would kill us. We did it. We 2-0'd Domain Zoo. I've heard that it's a. I mean, on paper it looks like a good matchup. I've always heard it's a good matchup. I've looked. It doesn't surprise me. Even to that main deck Consign, we ended up winning a 2-0. That's feels good. I think their fastest starts might still. You obviously can lose any matchup, no matter how good it is. A good matchup means you win 60 or 70% of the time. It doesn't mean you win 100% of the time. There's no 100% matchups. Even. Well, maybe Battle of Wits versus Mill is a 100% matchup. But I'm sure there's a way. Anyway, all that to say, I think they're, Leyline, Ragavan, Scion, might be really hard to beat with Stubborn Denial and Consign in hand or something like that. Or against Ben Frank. Wonder if he's Benjamin Franklin. It's pretty good. Pretty average hand. Wish this was the white source land, but we get to play one of these. We'll play Philology because we don't have a bloom on suspend on the off chance we get a bloom to the graveyard. Although we need a white source still, so never mind. If this was a white source, we'd lead on to Philology, but I'm going to lead on Thunder Trap because it digs deeper on average. So our plan is turn 3 Whir for bloom, turn 4 play Tamishi, and have hit a Belcher. Ideally in one of our draws or off of our Thunder Trap trigger. It looks like we're playing a aggressive Darcy deck. Might be Prowess, which I've heard is rough. We'll miss our snapback. Looking at our top card, Hey opponent, is it a Belcher? Hope it's a Belcher. They get to draw before us. That's not what we wanted. Santa, I asked for a Belcher, not another Tamishi. I already have one of those at home. Feels kind of like a Prowess, although it's like a burn list. Darcy burn. Well, I guess we're taking the flare. Force is maybe Force is on average better, but if they are Prowess, I want to be able to flare their 2-drop creature. Forget that new guy from whatever Junction, whatever weird Wild West set they made where they ruined a bunch of cards. I don't remember. Outlaws of Thunder Junction, I think it's called. Back in my day, we had Scars I mirrored in, and we loved it. Before there were a Horizon over Modern or any Masters sets, except for online. Don't know what our opponent's doing. Maybe they're thinking through the blue Belcher matchup. Or maybe they are close to having lethal in hand and trying to figure out how to do it. Mutagenic growths and gut shots and whatnot. It does look like they're Prowess. Yep. The Slick Show. That's the one I want to counter. Slick Shot. Show off. No thanks. That'll kill me super fast. Darcy will only ever kill me at the same pace. 3 damage a turn is much more manageable than potentially 18 damage a turn. I think we still bolt. Oh no. Tamishi can't do anything yet. Wolfalaji. Hit a White Source or a Belcher. Por favor. Neither of these are those. We'll take the Seagate. Play it out tapped so we don't bolt ourselves. Next turn, we play the land tapped and go for Lotus. And then we set up for a Tamishi Seagate turn and hope to hit. Seagate's 7 mana, so we'd have to have 14 mana. Yeah, we'll be at 14 mana again to potentially Seagate into a Belcher for the win. But we could die. That is a real reality here. They're killing our dude, so we're gonna take some damages. They have another like Darcy or Ragavan to haste. Ooh, yep, Ragavan. Called it. 7 is a lot of damage. We're pretty close to dead here. Taking 3 in the air down to 6, so we're dead to bolts. Right on time, Lotus Bloom. Right on time. I guess. No. This might force them to bolt this at least to get in their damage. I said I was going to wear that turn, wasn't I? I did that wrong. Whoops. I got focused on having a blocker instead. We were dead to a decent amount of cards. Like, they could have... There's a lot of combinations of cards they could have where we'd end up dead here. Do you have another Galv discharge or whatever? Oh, they passed the blockers. So maybe we're not dead? I don't know. We're taking 5. What do they need? They just need burn. They just need any burn, lava start, plus a mutagenic, bolt, plus a lava dart, bolt plus mutagenic. Target creature. Double their power and give it first strike. So he's making it a 6, and then we're taking 7, 8, plus the amp dropper. So we're taking 10. Well played, opponent. I think. Never seen leadership before. Okay, we gotta just keep casting stuff. I'll just let it hit me. I'm dead. I'm already dead. Yeah, no hope here. That's funny sentence. No hope here. Do I want spell stairs? I guess they're playing Raptor and the Slick Shot. And that Legion's whatever, I guess. Yeah, probably hits enough of their threats. We want to keep in our blooms. Commandeer, I guess, could steal a burn spell and hit them. Our shoals get a little better by bringing in 1-drops, but what is worse? We're not often going to get to keep creatures out for Flare. I think these are better than Flare. Probably can't afford more than one Commandeer. Maybe trim a Tamishi. Maybe we just trim the Tezzeret here, like they're not playing Consign. Yeah, that's probably correct. I like trimming him instead of Tamishi. Tamishi can still set up turn 4 wins. Tezzeret doesn't ever set up a turn 4 win. Unless you already have Tamishi, so. Interesting, interesting. This will be a fun test of a matchup. What is this? This is my match 4, right? I'm 2-1. I've heard that this is a rough matchup, and it makes sense. They are just very efficient. And although we have some interaction, it's like it doesn't feel. It's like counter 1 spell when they can cast like 7 in a turn. It's like, well, I'm not really keeping up with you. I'm just trying to stem the bleeding. But let's see. We have a whir. We have 3 lands and a thunder trap with a flare. I think it's doable. Again, the hard part of our lands bolting us is like how much work that does for the opponent, but oh, I thought I already said no. In my head, I already said tapped. Because Big Bridge is like, play this tap pass. And he's like, I'm gonna cast 6 things. Yep, Darcy into Bobble again. Tails all this time. Something else that rhymes. I wonder if I lose viewers when I sing. Would make sense. I wouldn't want to listen to me sing. I live with me all the time. Wow, look at them go. Told you they were going to do like 7 things on turn 1. Okay, I get to draw 2 extra cards. Well, they really cycled for them, but now we get our tap land. Yeah, I think we still want to. We'll lead on the Thunder Trap on the off chance he can't get this Darcy Delirium. Then we could kill it if it swings in. Obviously not going to swing in, but we could kill it. Ooh, interesting. We have Flare already. I think Force would be nice. We have a 3rd land and a whir. But unable to scream also slows them down quite a bit. I guess the Flare can hit Slick Shot if they have that, but not if they have removal. Force can't hit that. I'm going to take the Scream because it's like the most reliably useful. Whereas Force, yes, is very good in some instances, might not actually save us this game depending on what their draw is. Scream is always going to be able to hit either Darcy or another threat next turn, so. Let's get down to business. It's up to 3 cards. The Amped Raptor. We will say no thank you to that one. It does mean we get to get hit for only 1 because that's not a new card type. Now we get to choose whether or not we want Unable to Scream the Dragon Rage, which I don't think we do. We're going to Philology and play out this Suppression Ray this turn. We're going to hope to dig for Wincon. We got it. So it's turn 4 whir, turn 5 win. So we got 2 turn cycles to survive, although they only have the 1 threat, which is nice. Obviously, we saw before if they get Arena, they can start swinging real fast. We don't have any interaction. Next turn we can bolt to Scream plus whir, which is nice. We could also just jam Belcher next turn, I suppose, but going the whir line lets us like hold up shields if we need to. But I don't know. We'll see. Amped Raptor is good, depending on what it hits. Unstable Amulet. Okay. That could add up damage pretty quick. Ooh. Players can't get life damage, can't be put in. Deals damage equal to nothing. Yeah, that can hit us for quite a bit. That's probably a sideboard card. It can burn us for like 4 or 5, right? I got the Swift Spear off of Unstable. That's nice. So we go to 15. We can block it or this. I think we block the Swift Spear if they have a mutagenic. That'll save us the most damage. Question here. I think, of course, always we get the blooms so late. I think it's worth bolting ourselves to Unable to Scream the Swift Spear because that could potentially save us from way more damage. This looks like I'm holding up a flare, I think, or something. And Philology can always jump in front of this Amped Raptor, so then their only real threat is Darcy, which, like I said, is the more limited threat. And you see, I mean, our life total's getting pretty low, even if like a double bolt Darcy hit for 4, we're pretty close to dead, but ideally we just win next turn. Okay, one of their cards is a land. They also can use, they can't use Amulet. They gotta hit a Galv, Discharge or something to get another activation worth of mana, or not mana, energy. Lava Dart's pretty decent. Yeah, see, this is good. We didn't let this Darcy live, or Swift Spear free. Because cast, flashback, this would already be a 3 damage, which is what we took to do this, and then any other spell it would be more. Well, I will block it. Fine if you kill my Philology. What are you gonna lava dart it? That's fine. It says Philology Archaeologist blocks Azir Noble. Apparently it's blocking myself. Who knew? Azir Noble is being attacked by Azir Noble and Dragon Rage Hang. It thinks that Amped Raptor is me. Apparently my spirit card is Amped Raptor. Who knew? I've never played it. Never once cast it. So they ping us to 7. Kill our Philology. Put a Mesa in the graveyard. End step. We're poor favor. We're poor favor. We're poor favor. Poor favor. Untap with 7 mana. Oh yeah, I forgot I have that stupid bloom that I drew last turn. Commandeer, right on time. Goblin Char Belcher, please. Target you, por favor. I'll make red mana. For you. Because you like red mana. Right? Any order. Now we get to be on the play. Or sorry. They get to be on the play. And like that game, if they were on the play, it might have been closer. Do I want to change anything? I could consign the Amped Raptor trigger, but I don't think it's worth it. Maybe I want the Force of Negation. Flares have been great. Maybe I do want a flare. Or the third Tamishi. Commander feels less good when it's like lava darts. I mean, they did have galvanic discharge, I guess. I'll just run it like that. Trust myself with that little switch. Opponent is thinking a lot about their sideboarding yet again. It's interesting to have this like hyper aggressive deck that has eaten 4 more minutes off the clock, or 4 minutes plus 20 seconds more than we have. We're playing the mono blue deck full of counter magic that has to stay alive. So I'm not going to keep this. Well, let's do some math. No, I can't cast either of the Thunder Traps. And I won't be able to cast the Smell Stare until it's too late. I guess I could Shoal for 1. Double Lotus Bloom plus 1 land is enough mana. But I think I would rather have a hand where I can cast the Thunder Traps. I think this hand's a lot more keepable. We'll get rid of the second Jawari. The Jawari over the second. I like 2 Veils. Veils might actually save our life. They've done it before. We'll play 1 out. No, I'll have to bolt myself so I can hold up Spell Snare for Slick Shot. No turn 1 play or Amped Raptor. That's a decent draw. We'll play out this one. This means I'm not playing Thunder Trap on 2 because I don't have Flare and I have the Snare. This is how we're doing it. This is how we drew up our battle plans. Let's see if it works. My Seagate has been reborn. I bolted myself for this, so you know this is coming. Like, we both know it. But you have to go through the motion. You have to make your blue opponent have the Spell Snare, even when they signal it like that. Well, our deck's like, you want Bane Veils? I got you covered, bud. Appreciate it, deck. This might be just like play out another Veil, cast a Veil, and play out the Specimen, cast the Belcher, and hope I live. We're going to take a couple damage here. If they have Lava Dart, we might be taking, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? That's quite a bit. No flashback? Interesting. Huh. Let's do some math here. If I Thunder Trap, he can block the Swift Spear, which means I'm just taking 2 plus burn. But being in Veil, I'm not taking 2 plus 2 here. So I'm taking every spell past the first one plus burn. I feel like that's probably better on average. But I do get whatever card I grab with Thunder Trap, which could be Commandeer, Flare, Force, Shoal. Which would all give me more interaction with whatever they do next turn. 3 cards in hand. I have the bolt. Oh, man. I think I'm going to go for the Thunder Trap. This might cost us the game, but neither of those are interaction. That's unfortunate. He'd have to have another dart to kill it, or galvanic. I mean, I guess this turns on his discharges. Maybe I should just go for Bane Veil, stay with the original plan. Of course, if I had found a shoal, I would have felt like a genius. Let's see what this hits. Amulet. Okay. So far, both choices would have been roughly the same. We'll see, assuming I get to chump block with this. It doesn't feel good. What are we doing over there? Dragon Rage Shaler. Had a second dart. Yep. If I had Bane Veiled, I would have taken 2 darts to the face already. So I would have been at 12. And I would have taken 2 from Swift Spear. Sorry, I'd be at 11. Swift Spear would swing for 2 right now. So I'd be at 9. As it is now, I'm going to be at 7. So the Bane Veil line would have been better because it died. So now I don't think we can win. Obviously, if I bolt myself and cast a Belcher, I'm dead on board. It's 8 on board with the Lava Dart, so we're gonna have to trust this Bane Veil to save us. We can Bane Veil plus Spell Snare. What can we get with teachings that would help us? I'm thinking. What can we do here? What can we do? I could go get another Bane Veil. I could get... What? A word doesn't do it. I think we just play out the teachings this turn. I'm trying to think of what our line is here, though. We can survive, possibly. And then... we wouldn't have enough. We need to like Belcher plus have something to like survive with, and I don't think we have an Underworld Breach. Underworld Breach. We're so dead if that resolves. No, thank you. Por favor. The Unstable Amulet plus Bobble. Well, they could dart first. Bobble. 1, 2 times would be 2 triggers. Dart is 3, 4. Obviously, the attack is already lethal, but they were really trying to make sure we're dead that turn. Darting us, yes. So we take 2. We're taking 1 from this Dragon Rage and 1 Swift Spear, so we're pretty much dead. Man, I wish I just had 7 mana. If we just had that bloom on turn 1. Oh, they have Discharge as their last card, which makes their Swift Spear a little bigger. We get another turn, though. To draw our bloom, that's way too late. We don't have any way to stop the flying damage. I don't think there's any way for us to win here. I could scream him, jump block here, and somehow have something else. Yeah, we're dead. Very efficient deck, hard for us to beat. Well, I'll play the last match here and hopefully finish out 3-2. Saw some definite mistakes, although our deck still carried us through. In some cases, the Quactus loss was definitely on me. Just playing the best deck in Modern doesn't mean you are going to win. You have to still be good at playing it. And as I've stated in the primer and in my videos, the Blue Belcher is a deck that has a very high ceiling and also has a low floor. And a lot of people don't fully understand what that means. A low floor means that a low skilled player taking Belcher out will do very poorly. It isn't a deck that will just like, it might look really simple and easy when you're like facing it, and it's like, oh, he just counters my spells and plays his combo and wins. That's all I gotta do. Like, just cast Belcher and win. But there are so many choices that when you're making those choices wrongly, you set yourself up. This is a somewhat risky keep, but Bloom were with Philology, and I have 2 lands, so I know I can cast my Philology to dig for another land, and then having Shoal, I think it's worth keeping against what is likely a Boros aggro. Might be Storm again, but it looks like it's Boros. I don't have a 1-drop, so he gets to play Raggy. Ragtagavan. Belcher means we can hopefully just win on turn 4, and that's fast enough. We'll see. This thing hitting us really is no fun. Good luck, Brad B. But yeah, the low floor means you really got to know what you're doing in order to do well with this deck. Unlike a deck like Burn, where it's like the worst player playing Burn back when Burn was viable. Not now, but the worst player playing it would still win games just because like the deck is somewhat intuitive. Yes, an expert Burn player is going to win far more games than an unskilled player because there are choices that matter. But for the most part, it was just like, burn their face, attack with all your creatures, see if that's enough. And when you get there, you get there, Boros energy is a little more convoluted than Burn, but any player can be like, oh, turn 1, Ocelot Pride, turn 2, Ocelot Pride, swing and win? Question mark? Like, anyone can do that. Not anyone can play the right lands in the right order, take the right cards off of things, and set up for a turn where Belcher does win, even though on the turns where Belcher wins it seems very simple. That's not how you actually get the win. That's hard actually. I want to take the Flare to interact with them, but I need the land, so we have to take the land here, unfortunately. And it's a tap land, which sucks, but the nice thing is this at least blocks Raggy Taggy Van. If they go for a Flage, I guess we can counter it, which is something, but Static Prison? You're gonna Static Prison my Philology? So rude, opponent. Okay, I guess that's the thing that's happening in our lives. So if they exile, we take 3. Now our 1-of Tezzeret the Seeker. Guess he's not as relevant in this matchup. At least pre-board. Post-board, they might have needles. But now they know our secrets. I got a squeaky chair, sorry. Every time I move it makes noise. Okay, make your token. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close to having ascended. Commandeer just in time. Man, would have liked an untapped land there. Tis what it is. We could shoal for 1. Elegant Parlor. Surveil, surveil, surveil. I'd like to take a Static Prison just to throw it on Ragavan and save us a bunch of damage. Take 4 down to 8. See what they exile this time. Might just be dead, eh? They hit our 2 specimens. Would have liked to top deck that for the win, so we gotta top deck another untapped land for the win. Let's hope we can get lucky. If we don't hit an untapped land, we're likely dead. Oh. Interesting. I guess we take the ring. I know we don't get the cast trigger, but... Oh, we do? Are we supposed to? Do I want to draw a card now? Yeah, because we really just need to hit this. We did not get it. We'll lose our 1 life here, and then we'll... Yay, there's an untapped land. We would like to cast it, please. We wouldn't have hit it without your 1 ring. Thank you, opponent, for helping us win the game. I was like, there was a game I shared on the Discord where we were playing where I ended up commandeering an Unearth from the opponent, which hit a Thunder Trap in our graveyard, which hit a Whir, which let me Whir for Belcher, which ended up winning the game. And I wouldn't have won if I would have just lost if he just passed the turn. And right there, we would have lost if the opponent just passed the turn. But because they try to cast the ring, we got to win. Hope of Girapur. Trying to remember, what are they bringing in against us now? There's a pretty wide spread. Some will play the White Orchid Phantom, that's pretty popular, and Disrupted Flute. But there's also Orum's Chance. There's also Pithing Needles, and then Magebane Lizards are lesser, but still might bring it in against us. But the White Orchid Phantoms we can't really do much about. I think we're just gonna, bring in our snares and our screams like we always kind of would. No matter what they're bringing in, I don't think Hope is effective against it. So, and then I actually have on the list to bring in Force because of their hate cards, right? So we'll see. We usually take out our flares, specifically because our creatures don't tend to survive against them. We'll take out the Tezzeret. We'll see. Again, if they're playing a bunch of needle effects, we might bring these in. Might bring in the Karn. But if they're just playing land destruction, we don't want the 5-drop. So I'm going to pretend they're playing land destruction for now. And I think just run it like this. And then we can cut a Commandeer and a Force if we need to, and move stuff around. Obviously bringing the 1-drops makes our shoals a little better. Winning game 1 is always nice against... It was game 1 on the draw, right? Yeah, they were on the play, so... Winning game 1 on the draw against Boros Energy definitely sets you up to likely win the match, but we'll see. Sometimes they draw all their sideboard hate. And sometimes we have to mold a 4. You never know. Nothing is sure in life, and Magic is definitely proof of that. We got 3 lands, we got a Scream, we got a Shoal, we got a Force. Don't think we can ask for much better. I mean, having Bloom in our starting hand, sure. But we do have a Whir, so we can set up for a win eventually. But having good interaction early is paramount in this matchup. If they happen to go for like a turn 1 Pithing Needle, we can Force Negation it. But it will probably be, what, Ragavan? So now here's the question. Do we want to Shoal it? Or do we want to Unable to Scream it? I think we just Shoal it. Unable to Screaming it means we're going to have to bolt ourselves. We don't want it in play. So we'll do that. And we'll play out. We'll definitely hold on to our Veil. This is the deck that Veil has time walked and saved me more than once in the past. More efficient against it than against the Prowess deck, because this essentially usually reads like take 0 damage this turn, no matter how many creatures they have. All the cat tokens in the world can swing. Okay, opponent's digging for action. That's a good sign for us. No other 1-drops. Great. It's great for us. We're not playing this Veil out for 2 reasons. 1, we control for 2, which is very good, and 2, we can maybe cast it later. So not going to hold up Shoal for X0 or Bane Veil this turn, so we'll not bolt ourselves. If we do end up pitching this Veil, we do have to be careful because we are a little low on mana resources. But again, being at 20 life on their turn 3 is mwah. And if their board is completely empty, it's very worth being a little slower over here. Suppression Ray. We could bolt. Oh, we're not going to go get Lotus Bloom right now. One thing is bolt and holding up Force Hardcast might be better, because we're not really going to pitch either of these at this point. But it wouldn't have been relevant, so. And a second Ajani. At least I didn't get to trigger this Ajani with that one. Another Force. Yeah, I think we're playing it. I was debating we could cast a Hydroelectric to like chump block Ajani for days. I think we just play it out. We can hard cast a Force here. We need to draw another Whir or a Belcher. If we can't use our forces here, the question is, do we just Whir for Bloom and hope to draw a Belcher or another Whir? Well, we can't force that. What else you got? Onslaught Pride. Can't force that. I mean, I do have a couple turns here. I don't have a ton of turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 3 turns. Do I want to just Whir aggressively to set up for a possible win? What's the other option? I guess the reality is, like, what else am I using this Whir for? Because if I just draw a land, I'm only at 4. I need 3 more turns of drawing lands for this to actually get a Belcher. So I think I'm just going to aggressively Whir for Lotus Bloom. It does make me miss the portable hole tech. Tamishi, is this enough? Turn 5. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and when we replay the land. Yay, Christmas. I'll do this to hold up a Force of Negation. And, you know, I could cast this Hydroelectric Specimen. So if they have removal right here, we don't go for the 14 mana win. They're gonna Galvanic Discharge. Do I want to Specimen this or force it? Is the question. I will force. So to draw a card, get our Bloom Black in play. Let's just do the mana. I play this untapped. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, I'm 2 mana short of being able to win with this teaching. So, I will... Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Will I play? Next turn, I'll have 3, 6, 12. Next turn, if I don't play land this turn, I'll still have enough if my Tamishi and Bloom survive. I think I keep it in hand so that I could potentially commandeer or use force. But maybe I play it. I can also cast this and still force. I think this gives us more options. So I'm going to keep it. Opponent has 3 cards in hand. We've burned through a discharge. We've burned through the guide and the Ajani that they first played. If they swing out, I think we're just not blocking. I don't actually want to kill one of their cats. I don't want to risk blocking a Johnny or Amped Raptor, and I guess Discharge kills him anyway. Huh. I think I'm going to Commandeer this. Point it at a Johnny. Or do I just force it and hold up a Hydroelectric Specimen on the off chance he has another removal spell? Let's do that. That's the safest play. I think if we do that, we can't have 14 mana next turn, but we'll still have Tamishi, and we can get our bloom back. Anyway, yeah. Oh, I'll totally block one of your cats. No. Your cats can poke me all day for 3 damage, sir. Not all day, but for this turn, for sure. Make a kitty token. Now, unless they have like an orange chant, we should be good. He says tentatively. Oh, look. Do the whir, so we only need 10 mana. Almost made white, blue, which would have been completely wrong. So I'm already at 10, but I'm going to bolt myself just to be sure here. I don't know what they could be playing. So now I'm at 10, 13 potential mana. Did it respond now? No. So I don't think we have to use it. X equals 4. Now Orange Chant is too late. I win, okay. Opponent was making sure we had it, I guess. Good games, opponents. And there you have it. Definitely some misplays here in that second game. Close first game to Demir, and fun beating Boros energy there. Lost to the Prowess deck, but it is definitely a very powerful deck. And like you saw, like when I made mistakes, I immediately noticed them. And when I made iffy plays, I always try to say like this might not be correct, this might not be optimal, right? But it's the line I'm taking. I think we took the right lines there against Boros, and you need tight play. And it's interesting because people will come to the Discord and be like, Boros is, I can't beat it. How are you guys beating Boros? Or, I lost 6 in a row. And it's like, well, one misplay of bolting yourself with a land can cost you the match. One misplay of, playing that Bayin Veil out as a land could cost you a match. You have to maximize trading your resources, which is your life, your cards in hand, and your interactive cards, with staying alive long enough, as well as being focused on winning as fast as possible. So anyways, I hope you enjoy the videos. Give me a subscribe if you've made it this far. I hope you're having a fantastic life, fantastic day. I do like Tezzeret. You did see we side him out quite a bit there. We were facing very fast decks, but in the decks where you want him, which is against all the blue decks, as well as like Karn decks and stuff, like definitely worth the slot, I think. Hope Did not get to really play with it, unfortunately, but I think it is an interesting card to try out. Maybe it is just a sideboard card, and we maybe play a Scream main or the fourth Tamishi or something. I don't know. Anyways, have a great day.